Bible, God's inspired word, says there came a sound from heaven, and that's the sound we need. The truth, present truth that can set you free.
I saw a t-shirt a long time ago, and it said on the front of it, if I knew I was going to live this long, I would have taken better care of myself. Well, I apply that to my own life. If I knew I was going to be around this long, maybe I would have spiritually taken better care of myself. Maybe if the church knew it was going to be around this long, maybe the church would have taken better care of itself. Maybe our people, our pastors, our leaders, our colleges would have taken better care of themselves, spiritually speaking. As a pastor friend of mine, we've been discussing the Old Testament, and to come to find that we were both reading out of the same passages, and we discussed the same thing. And it was kind of interesting because the place we were looking at was 2 Chronicles chapter 29. And it talks about Hezekiah the king. And I want to read to you the first verse of 2 Chronicles 29. And here's what it says. Hezekiah began to reign when he was 25 years old, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Abijah, the daughter of Zechariah. Now, verse 2 says, and he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, according to all that David his father had done. Now, his father's name was Ahaz, not David. But you see, Ahaz was a wicked king, and Hezekiah was a good king. In fact, one of the best kings that Israel, or Judah in this case, ever had. And we can see that Hezekiah was a man of God, and he did that which was right according to David, his father. And that's pretty important to me. Because it doesn't say Ahaz, it says David. He went all the way back to David. He was a man like David. The Bible says that David was a man after God's own heart. Well, that's the kind of a guy that Hezekiah was. What's the shape of the church today? I believe it's in much the same shape as it was when Hezekiah took over. That kind of tells me that there is hope. The church world that we live in, friends, is anemic. It's emaciated. It's in need of a revival. And I want to say, friends, we need a move of God. We need a touch of God. This world needs revival, but the church needs the revival to begin in the house of the Lord. And that's what Hezekiah begins to do. I have some questions. Number one, what did he do? Number two, where did Hezekiah do it? Number three, how did he do it? Number four, who is the one that did it? And number five, when did he do it? And as we look at those questions, I think we'll answer those and see that God is still on the throne, and that God's desire is to see the church revived. The Bible says, in the last days, I will pour my spirit out on all flesh. Friends, it's not too late. We can still see a move of God in our time. Pastor, do you want it? If you knew you were going to be around this long, if you knew you were going to be the pastor of that church this long, maybe we would have taken better care of ourselves. Thank you for joining us on A Certain Sound.
For more information, visit us online at acertainsound.com.